Hello, hello. Cass is back with another channel message of the day for you. Today I am pulling from the Curious Creatures Tarot deck, and we shall see what wants to come out for you today as far as inspiration for this message. So let's see, we'll choose around 3 cards. There's 1. There's 2. Oh, and there's 3 and 4. And I'm also being called to look at the back of these decks. Perfect. Okay. So the first card to come out is the King of Wands with a lion. That's all about entrepreneurship, having a vision, this fire energy. And then we have this Hanged Man, number 12. And then we have the Ace of Cups, all about love. You can see the swans right there in the middle. Then we have the 5 of Wands, maybe a little competition. It could be just a little bit maybe of this fighting type of energy or like working really hard at something. And then we have, when I split the deck, the Empress and the King of Cups. Okay, the Empress and the King of Cups. So what is coming through for this message, Spirit? There is some sort of vision that you're feeling as though it's not playing out exactly as you could have hoped. So that's with these 2 cards here in the beginning. It's like there's a vision and it feels like maybe it's taking a little bit longer. Spirit is saying this is actually happening for a reason. And the reason being, there's been a little bit of something within you that's been fighting. It's almost like, it reminds me of like the angel and devil on your shoulder, so to speak. And they've kind of been battling, and it's almost like that's been a distraction from your heart and from your truth and from love. So, excuse me, the Ace of Cups, also feeling that throat chakra energy, which is very prevalent here. So there's something, some of you are saying certain things, but actually not totally believing in it. Or some of you are not saying certain things even though you believe in something. So there's something that you're really being called to really tap into from the heart center as far as how you actually want to not only create in the world, but also how you want to receive. That's all about the Empress energy. I just noticed that little duckling, and there's a duck here too. And so, those animals could be significant. Okay. I have to point out what just fell. So we have the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups. And remember, the King of Cups was at the back of the deck. So some of you are a little bit distracted by wanting a partner, a romantic relationship, or by the romantic relationship or intimate partnership that you're in right now. And so Spirit is saying that like the color red is coming through so strong, root chakra, masculine energy. This has been coming through so much for the collective, how important it is to feel rooted within yourself so that outside things don't distract you. It reminds me of a tree. When there's wind blowing, it doesn't just crack and fall over and stop being a tree. It actually just stays a tree, but kind of sways with the wind. And that is being very rooted in yourself. And so Spirit is calling you to be more rooted into the truth of the love that you are, so that when certain situations, even not just in a romantic relationship, when anything outside of you happens, it doesn't feel like your energy is going all over the place, like you have to like fight for it, but more so it's just this creation from the heart that is naturally pouring out of you because of how connected you are to the divine, to your truth, to unconditional love. When you are unconditionally loving yourself, this is something that you're actually really being called to reflect on here. Take a step back. If you're trying to fight for this vision to come through, this could be with your business, this could be in relationship. I mean, there's a lot of cups energy coming through. And then we have the Empress and the Wands energy, which is fire, which is passion, which is the feminine energy. So there's something within you that actually wants to flow through you a little bit more. Most likely unconditional love, feeling a little bit stagnant when it comes to these outside circumstances. So really reflect on what it feels like to be in unconditional love, not just giving it and receiving it, because first, in order to give love or to help someone else in, this romantic relationship feel the way that you want to feel, you first want to feel that yourself, right? You first want to solidify that within you. Again, root chakra, root it down. Not just feel this like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with you, I love you so much. And then things kind of play out in a way that will show you where you're not necessarily rooted in that love within yourself. What's also really beautiful about this reading is there are relationships that are coming together for you. And so this card just wanted to fall. Like, this card has been wanting to fall, and I just caught it once again. The Knight of Cups is, you can see, like, there's love. Look at, someone's fishing for your love. There's a rose in his mouth. He's got this cup. He wants to give it to you. Again, like, gender aside, I'm just saying he because Knight of Cups. And so horses could also be significant. And also the sea and oysters and clams, along with just really beautiful fish. So I'm just picking up on some of these signs and synchronicities from these cards. Take it or leave it, take what resonates and leave the rest as always. But it's really beautiful because some of you are really calling in love. And so this is something that is going to coincide with the vision that you have for yourself. So the vision that you might have for yourself is having this beautiful family, maybe living somewhere, maybe by the ocean, maybe have horses or live near somewhere where you could ride horses. Again, like, take what resonates and leave the rest. And in order for this, like, there's just like one thing. It's like there's one string, maybe one attachment, something that you've been fighting through when it comes to the overall vision that is happening right now that you are able to work with by pouring in that love and acceptance. There's certain things that are coming up that you are feeling uncomfortable to accept within yourself. It could be just wanting a relationship or wanting to feel better in your relationship. This is something that you can actually iron out right now so that all of this will come into fruition, because ultimately this is on your highest timeline, is to have literally the perfect match in your life with the Queen of Cups coming out. I mean, literally these fell out. So again, with the feminine energy, that is something that Spirit's like, hey, feminine energy, like, let's talk about this. Let's really work with this. Let's sit with this. This is compassion, not just for self, but for others. So anytime you're feeling like you are judging someone else, take a step back, write that judgment down, and then honestly and courageously write where you are holding that energy in yourself. This is exactly what will clear it out. I mean, this is some tangible advice that's coming through for you to really excel with this next version of yourself, with this next chapter, this next book of your life, this next new earth version of yourself. As we're not necessarily getting rid, but transmuting and moving away from that old earth energy, it's really important for radical acceptance and radical wholeness. So there's certain parts of yourself that you have been fighting that Spirit is like, yo, you don't have to fight this anymore. It's more about loving and accepting this, even certain things that feel very uncomfortable that maybe in the past for example, it could be the last relationship that you were in and you just maybe were judging that person for something. Let's give an example here. For me, it would be my partner not being masculine enough for me, him not bringing things to the table and making decisions, right? And so if that really bothers me about someone else, especially in relationship, I have to pull that back into myself and say, okay, where am I judging myself in my own life? How is this true for me right now? And just by bringing that to my awareness and pouring in that unconditional love, this is what's going to really help change it into something that will really help you in your next relationship or in this relationship that you're in now, depending on, whatever your situation is. So rather than looking back at the past being like, thank God he's out of my life, thank God they're out of my life, it's like, wait a minute, hold on a second. Where was I actually judging these people? This is a really great way to pull up these subconscious beliefs that we have about ourselves, because relationships are the best mirrors for us. So with this new relationship coming through, or this renewed relationship coming through, it's going to feel extremely different than you've ever felt before. And again, so much water energy. We have the Ace of Cups, King of Cups, Queen of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and then we also have fire. So water and fire, what is that representing? Alchemy. That's really bringing together the light side and the dark side of yourself and alchemizing it into something that is a lot bit more non-dualistic. rather than living in duality, which is not unconditional love. So unconditional love is really bringing and merging everything together and accepting and loving it all. And this is how we can actually do this on the outside. For example, I'm a feminine woman. I would love a masculine man. And so we can alchemize together, you know, when we get intimate and do those types of things together. But first we have to do that within ourselves. We can't just magically think that someone's going to come along, fix all of our problems and help us feel better about ourselves, help us love ourselves. And of course that is true to a certain extent, because when we have someone else in our life loving us so beautifully, it really does help us feel that love for ourselves more. But we first want to establish that within ourselves rather than seeking out love from outside sources in order to fill these holes or gaps or help us change these old coping mechanisms, which once again, this relationship is going to help solidify where you're going into the new earth. So it's not something that is going to solve your problems, but it's going to be something that will help solidify the solution to these problems that maybe you were dealing with in the past. So I'm so excited about this new fresh love that is coming through. I actually, before I did this reading, was thinking I really want to talk about love, but sometimes love readings can feel a little like eye rolly, like, yeah, okay. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I hope that's true. And it's really about what you know to be true for your timeline. That's what these readings are all about. And again, like, you can take what resonates and leave the rest, because this is not meant to decide your timeline for you. It's just reflecting back your highest self, your highest timeline. And that's what I always like to do, is tap into the highest timeline in the collective, especially when it comes to love. And that is one of the most challenging portals to walk through, is the relationship of divine love and working through this unconditional love, which means working through the judgments that we have had about ourselves and about other people that we've attracted into our lives. They come into our lives so we can actually move through this energy and spiritually upgrade and expand our capacity and just take ourselves to this next level where we can see ourselves as more of the truest versions of who we are, which is unconditional love. So get excited about this. I hope this message resonated with you today. I know I'm excited about it. And if you want to dive deeper into your personal situations, your personal life, you can book a personal reading with me. I have different ways to work with me, and I will leave the links below. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Thank you for subscribing, liking this video if it resonated, and please share it with anyone that you feel like could use it today. And I'm sending you guys so much love. I will see you tomorrow.